the day, ignore your neighbors, guys. Word of the day is parenthetical. Say that for me. Parenthetical. Actually say it, guys. Parenthetical. Yeah, it's kind of one of the fancier words. And even though it looks kind of crazy, it's really pretty easy. So parentheticals do happen a lot in a script. You're going to use them like nobody's business. So there's a few things that will make it easier for you. So parentheticals, really just basically think about them as short instructions that happen throughout the scene in your script. Unlike if you look at non-examples, yesterday I taught you slugline and action. Slugline and actions come at the beginning of your scene. Parentheticals are the stuff that you need to clarify and add after the action. Because the action was setting up your screen at the beginning. Parentheticals happen all throughout the rest of the scene. So on my example with Jim and Dwight, this is the parenthetical. See this part in parentheses? There's a reason why parenthetical sounds like parentheses. Because you put parentheticals inside of parentheses. So they're just little instructions for the actors, basically. So that's what examples say. You put them in parentheses. They're directions for the actors. They are supposed to be short. You're really just supposed to just give basic instructions. You do not need complete sentences when you're doing a parenthetical, guys. And how many of you have ever been in a play before or a musical? Lots of you. Parentheticals are very closely connected to a theater term called blocking. So basically blocking is how actors are going to move. They plan it out. Sometimes they literally put tape on the floor so that they're blocking out the scene. Like this part, you stand here, then you move here, then you move there. But it can also be how you're moving, yeah. So if you need multiple directions, like on my example, I have 2 different directions for the actor. So you put, see right here, you put a semicolon if you need multiple directions. And guys, parentheticals sometimes do get really long. Like if you need to describe a lot, that's okay. But parentheticals, look at the second sentence. Put them where you need them. They can come at the beginning, middle, or end of dialogue. Like I could have a parenthetical happen right in the middle of this sentence. Put it where you need it to happen. Like if I need this actor to do a thing right in the middle of the sentence, put the parenthetical in the middle. If I need them to do something before they say this line, put it at the beginning. If it happens after, put it at the end. So have them a lot, have them wherever you need it. You can make one up. Like we made this up in a former class. I was like, okay, shout out a name. And they were like, John. And I said, shout out something that John could say. And somebody said, that's not my lunch. And then we had the parenthetical. So we said, okay, make up something random that John's going to do. So he threw a chair and then eat soup, which I love the combination. First we get angry, then we're going to calm down and eat soup. But that's a parenthetical right there, that moment. So I've got a really, really quick video for you, and then we're done. But watch carefully. This one goes really fast. This was created by Writer Duet, so that's the website that we're going to be using. But pay attention because it's 26 seconds and it goes really quick.
Typing an open parenthesis anywhere inside of a dialogue block will automatically create a new parenthetical line. Parentheticals should be used to clarify ambiguous dialogue, describe brief actions or beats in the middle of a dialogue block, or if you can't afford a director and your actors are stupid. They aren't capitalized, and multiple thoughts in one parenthetical are separated by a semicolon. Just hit enter to return to dialogue.
I'm going to make you watch that one more time. It's so
Typing
short.
an open parenthesis anywhere inside of a dialogue block will automatically create a new parenthetical line. Parentheticals should be used to clarify ambiguous dialogue, describe brief actions or beats in the middle of a dialogue block, or if you can't afford a director and your actors are stupid. They aren't capitalized, and multiple thoughts in one parenthetical are separated by a semicolon.
Okay, so let's do a little review here. What's this part right here? Interior elementary school classroom day. What's that called? Slug line. What's this whole little description right here? Action. Then we have, what's right here? Parenthetical. And that's really everything you need to know. So before I set you loose, one quick announcement that's important. If in creative writing, you should be careful. If you're writing stuff that goes against your family values, that's definitely something to consider. That I unfortunately had a really uncomfortable parent-teacher conference a couple years ago where the mom was like, why did you let my kid write this? And I was like, you know what? That's a fair point. Yeah, that I should have been more clear. That I might not be offended and you might not be offended, but nothing well, I'm not going to give specifics because it wasn't school appropriate, but nothing that you're doing on your school computer is private at all. Like, I could log into any one of your accounts anytime I wanted and totally look at every single thing in your Drive and your school Gmail, your Canvas. Teachers can do that, and I have before. It's not very common, but just something to be aware of. If it's something that your guardian or your parent would be offended that you had written, then probably don't write it. The other thing I want to announce really quick before I set you loose. So I told you this yesterday, but today's your first official writing day. So I want to just remind everybody, see where my mouse is wiggling? You really need to be hyper aware of this toolbar today. I want to show you something. I'm going to start pressing enter, and I want you to pay attention to what gets highlighted up here. So everybody watch my screen for just a second. So I press enter, and it was like, hey, are you doing dialogue? I press enter, it tried to guess, are you doing a parenthetical? I press enter again, it changed to character. So every time you press enter, it will try and guess what it thinks you're doing. But if it guesses wrong, just go click the right thing. And remember, they call slugline seen, but it's really slugline. So your job today, and I have this on Canvas, and then I really am going to set you loose. It says it right here. So we are on day 1 of our script project. Then we will end up writing until basically next Thursday. Next Thursday is the last day of this project. So you'll end up having about 6 or 7 pages by then. Some people, it's a really slow start, and that's totally normal, you guys. The beginning of any project is a little bit slower. No big deal at all. So you're going to write basically as much as you can today. Some people will write more than a page. Awesome. Some people will end up writing a little less, and that is okay because it will end up not mattering by the end because you'll catch up eventually.